everybody, Little Gamer here, and welcome to a brand new video. I am so excited that you've decided to join me here today, and if you are new, I am so happy you decided to stop in and visit. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you make sure that I hope that you get a good place to sit and rest while you watch this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and dive right on into our Sims and their backstories, starting with the patriarch of the family, the eccentric, the man, the myth, the legend, Augustus Jameson. Now, Augustus, he is a very eccentric man. He's very much so a showman. In fact, he works in the entertainment career. Of course, when I upload him to the gallery, he should have his skills and should have the correct levels for his entertainer career. I like to think he's pretty high up, actually. Not at the top, but probably around level 7, level 8 in that career. And I like to think that he's a very eccentric man, as you could probably tell by his fashion choices. I wanted to get his eccentricness, his uniqueness, and his spontaneous nature very much so obvious when it came to his fashion. And I did have a bit of trouble with this because I typically don't go for eccentric looks. I typically go for either normal, polished kind of looks, or I go towards the edgy looks, or I go towards the pastel looks. I typically shy away from things that aren't really in my own comfort area, or not things that I would wear. So I had a bit of difficulty. Also, Augustus is a man. He was born a man, he identifies as a man, he is a man. And I do not do masculine clothing very well, if I may say so myself. Now, basically, Augustus, he has a whole backstory to him, at least in my head. I am on PS4, and as much as I love writing the stories in these Sims, I do not have the energy to type each individual letter on the PS4 to put the story in, most times. So, now Augustus, he grew up in a pretty boring family, to say the least, and they weren't really supportive of Augustus's dreams. Augustus, from a very young age, was very eccentric, exuberant. He was very chatty and very bright and very bubbly, and he loved to put on a show. And honestly, I can't blame him. He loved being the center of attention. He also loved making other people laugh, cry, look around in shock. He loved that. And he, from a very young age, took a shine to acting and singing and performing in general. Of course, Augustus, his father was a very harsh man, to put it politely. He did not think that the performing arts was anything more than a hobby or a folly in his viewpoint. And the fact that Augustus decided that he wanted to pursue such a job and such a career and such a college, his father was absolutely furious and basically said no, absolutely not. But Augustus knew what he wanted in his life and what he wanted to pursue, so he pursued what he wanted. He went to college and he got a degree in the performing arts, and he very quickly got a job, and he's actually pretty well known. If you have the Get Famous pack, he will be a little up there in the fame. He won't be like an A-lister or anything, but I think he'd be like level 3 or level 4 when it comes to fame and everything. So Augustus didn't really come from a very loving household. His mother had died when he was young, so he didn't have her to look to. And his father, very, very harsh. He did not believe that acting and performing was an actual job. It was a hobby in his eyes. And so Augustus has really cut off a good bit of his family. He hasn't spoken to his father in decades. His father doesn't even know that Augustus actually has a wife and 2 children. I will be making Augustus his father later on, possibly. And you can decide whether or not they come together or his father becomes a kinder man. That is completely up to you. Now we're moving to Augustus's wife, Marion. Now Marion, she's a very loving mother. She loves her children. She loves her husband. But she's also a very busy individual. Typically, when I make families that are like, the nuclear family, the man and the woman and the kids, or the quote-unquote straight couples, I typically, out of habit really, have the woman be the main caretaker. This is typically because I myself am a woman, and I live in the South, and I'm only shown the only people I see actually taking care of anything in the house, whether it's kids, cleaning, cooking, anything really, it's usually the woman getting the shit done. However, Marion is not a stay-at-home mom. She does not clean, and as much as she loves to cook, well, she quite often burns the house down if she uses the stove. So, her husband's the main cook. Now, Marion, I can't remember which job I gave her, but I do think it's in the cooking career, if I remember correctly, which I probably don't. And I did want to give Marion, like, her own little bit of an eccentric style, but I can't remember if I went full eccentrics or just something close, because I also wanted to keep in mind that, she is a mother, and while, yes, she's not a stay-at-home mom, and she's not the main one going in and taking care of the kids and doing the whole providing thing, she still is a mother with a toddler, and if you have ever dealt with a toddler, well, you know that there are certain outfits that you just don't wear around toddlers because it'll either ruin the outfit or it'll be extremely uncomfortable for you. So I wanted to keep that in mind while I did her outfit. Same for her husband, actually. While his style is eccentric, I did try to stick to fabrics that are like easy to clean if spit up is put on the shirt or something gets spilled on the shirt, because, toddlers are messy. Oh my god, are they messy. But yeah, Marion is basically a very good balance for her husband. And they get along very well. They are very much so a partnership. They are a team. If Marion is getting overwhelmed with something, Augustus will take over. If Augustus is getting overwhelmed with something, Marion will get over. If Marion sees that her husband is about to get himself into trouble, she's like, put it back, quit it. And if Augustus sees that his wife is about to say something that's going to get her in trouble with other people, he's like, let's leave the room. So they're very much so a partnership. In most households, it falls on to like one person. It falls on to like one person to get everything done house-wise. And this is not the case with their relationship and their family. They're very much so a partnership. And I'm sorry I cut out there. My cat accidentally stepped on my laptop, which then made it to where my recording stopped. Now, with Marion, she is, just because she's working and everything, it doesn't mean she's not like a loving mother or that she's not a part of her lives. I've noticed that for a lot of people, like just from what I've seen in general, when someone's not a stay-at-home mom, everyone assumes that they're too busy for their kids. And while at times, yeah, that mom can be pretty busy and maybe miss out on some things. Marion makes sure that she makes time for each of her kids. And so does Augustus. Again, they are a partnership. So Marion and Augustus will set time aside, like weekends, like say one Sunday, Augustus will take their eldest daughter out, and one Sunday, Marion will take their youngest daughter out. Don't ask me what their names are. I can't remember right now. It's been a couple of days since I made this video, and I'm just now doing the voiceover. I'm sorry. Now, and then, they'll switch and vice versa, and a couple times they'll go out as an entire family. This is because they do value a relationship with their children, especially with Augustus, because he had a father that never really supported him, and he didn't have a relationship with his mom because she was dead. And, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so blunt, but it's true. She was dead. And Marion, her parents were well-meaning, but they were a bit overbearing. Marion did not have a moment of privacy to herself. Diaries, they were read. Text messages, they were read. There was no privacy in her household, and she hated it. In fact, her parents were very controlling and extremely strict. Like, to the point of, you people have issues. Strict. And she rebelled a lot. In her teen years, she did a lot of things that she actually regrets to this day, but she rebelled because she was being actively suffocated by her family, and she hated it. As she should. And she actually met Augustus when I think she was about 16 and he was about 17 when they met. And she had actually met him at a party. He was entertaining some friends, and she saw him, and she knew immediately, oh my god, this is the man that I'm going to marry one day. And, of course, she didn't say nothing. She didn't walk up to him. She was just like, shit, god damn it, no. She hated the fact that she fell in love because it was so inconvenient for her. She wanted to be wild for a bit. But no, she had to fall in love with the first guy she sees. Oh, my cat's doing the stretchies. Sorry, I had to let you know that information that he's stretching, and he just flexed his little toe beans. He's laying on my chest. I am recording while laying down in my bed right now because I am comfy, and my chair is... The chair that I usually sit in to record is not comfy right now, but my bed is, so that's what we're doing. And my cat is laying on my chest, and he's being a very, very good boy. I don't know if you can hear him purring, but he's very sweet, and he's happy, and he's purring. But yeah, back to Marion. But yeah, she was so pissed that she knew that this was the one. She hadn't even spoken to him yet, and she's like, god damn it. She was so pissed. But it wasn't until, I think Marion was like 24, 25, that she actually spoke to Augustus, and they started dating. And between those years, Marion did absolutely everything she could. She would sneak out. She got in quite a few dangerous situations, mind you. And she was constantly just like putting herself at risk. And this was a direct link to the fact that she was literally being suffocated at home. And whenever she did try to talk to her parents, if you're a teenager, I'm pretty sure you know this. I've been a teenager. My parents weren't that way, but I had plenty of friends who did have parents who were the way, where you would try and confide into your parents and say, hey, this is something that I'm going through, and something I did. I know it was stupid, but, how do I fix it? And instead of getting advice, actual helpful advice, they got chastised. I'm not a parent, but if I do have any parents, especially with teenagers who are watching this, if your kid comes to you and says, I fucked up, how do I fix this? Don't go, oh my god, you fucked up, I have to punish you because it's not like you already have consequences that you're going through. Let me make those consequences worse. Trust me, that just sows resentment, and they're a lot less likely to come to you. Of course, after, she got married and she had her eldest daughter, she actually got a better relationship with her parents, but they're still very low contact. And Marion has basically Marion has told her parents, we're low contact. This is what you get. This is my terms. I can't, you invaded my privacy enough as a kid. You don't get to do it now. And honestly, good for her. Now, this is her oldest daughter. Well, their oldest daughter, Madeline. Now, Madeline, right now, her pronouns are she, her. But I do think that as she develops, as she grows older, she might find that her pronouns will change from she, her to they, them, or she, they. I don't know, because I think she'd be one to experiment with her identity to try and figure out what feels right. She may be completely okay with just with she, her pronouns. I don't know. Because with this new pack coming up, it gives us more space for exploration, and I am excited for that. I do think that Madeline is asexual and pan-romantic, but that might be because I kind of based her off me just a bit, not a whole lot. I just took small bits from my own personality and sort of threw it at her. Now, her style, especially fashion-wise, she's not as eccentric as her parents are when it comes to style, though the pre-selected stuff from the randomization of when you start out a sim and it gives you those random outfits would have you believe otherwise. She's pretty laid back. She wants to be a writer when she grows up, and she loves writing, reading, storytelling. She loves it. So I think she's going to most certainly become a writer. And Madeline, because I don't have the pack, and it's not because it's not even out, I can't give her these traits, but I think she would most certainly be a very awkward teen when it comes to socialization. However, when she's with her friends and when she's writing or at the book club that she's got, she's very much so a chatterbox. She loves to tell stories. Think of like this. Her favorite stories, ironically, are tragedies. And I'm just like, yeah, that's her father coming out with her, like coming out of her. You know how some people have share certain attributes with their parents? She's definitely got that from her dad. But I think she'd be a very awkward teen, but she's very sweet. She's also very self-conscious. She does not like to really wear a lot of revealing clothing. In fact, the most reveal you'll probably see is her shoulders, which, gasp, horrendous, I know. At least it's what the school system wants us to think. I'm sorry, I'm a little salty today. But yeah, and with Madeline, I think she is going to grow into a very smart and very confident young woman. Because I think after a few years of being an awkward teen, she's going to come to the realization that she is who she is. And she should take pride in who she is. Unapologetically be herself. Now, I also like to think that perhaps as time goes on, I might make another video with this family. It depends. I don't think I'll actually play with them, but I don't know yet. That's for future Divya to decide. But I do think if I play with them, I will most certainly make a video where I update them. Now, I'm just going to gush a minute because I really love this hair. Okay, it's one of my favorite hairs. I think it's one of the best hairs they've made in the game. But yeah, anyway, that's Madeline. Now we are about to meet our youngest tiny little character, our tiny little sim, our very wild Jolene. Why did I name her Jolene? I was listening to Dolly Parton. That is the only explanation I can give you. Lore-wise, for her, I think it would be because Augustus was also listening to Dolly Parton and decided, yes, that is the name that we shall give our daughter, Jolene. It's a wonderful name. And you know what? His wife was just like, you know what? Yeah, that's fair. It's a nice name. Now, Jolene is just an absolutely, an absolute cute, wild child. She's absolutely adorable, and I've said absolutely 100 times so far. But she's such a wild child. She loves to run about and make messes and talk to people and just basically bounce off the walls. And she is a she's very much so a handful. And she's also very sweet. She loves and idolizes her older sister. There's like a 13-year age gap, because I like to think that toddlers are like 3 years old, and Madeline is about, or Madeline, I can't remember right now, is about 16. So Jolene's about 3 years old, and Madeline was about 13 when she was born, so that makes her 16. But Jolene's very much so. She loves her big sister, and her big sister absolutely adores her baby sister. She's like, this is my baby sister. Don't fuck with my kid. I will cut you. Like, she's a very awkward teen, but you mess with her little sister and all awkwardness is gone. Violence is what remains. But yeah, Jolene's just a very sweet toddler, very active, very hyper, and very, 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 very chaotic. I also sort of based her off one of my cousins when he was a toddler. Oh goodness, was he absolutely bonkers and off the wall. But yeah, this is the Jameson family. I am so sorry if I came off as very rambly. I was sick for a couple months, and I'm still getting back into recording and doing voiceovers. But yeah, this is the Jameson family, and I'm so happy that you decided to join me, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye!